I would turn 30 that year and ask myself, what had I learned so far in life? Never give up, always have another roll of film for the camera, and a little bullshit can go a long way. Sometimes, however, life intervenes in magical ways and brings people into our lives who change everything. It all began quite innocently on a summer day discussion in Niagara. My mom and I were wondering why Dad wouldn't come back from getting some Chardonnay at Conselman Winery, just down the road. Herbert Conselman had immigrated from the Black Forest area and now produced great wine here in Niagara. Just as my dad selected a few bottles at his winery store, Herbert was talking to a mother and daughter from his former neighborhood back home. He introduced them to my dad, mentioning that the daughter lived in Toronto and her mother was visiting from Germany. A lengthy meet and greet resulted in an exchange of contact information. Upon his return, I asked, "So, Dad, what does she look like?" "Stefan, if I was you, I would have a closer look at that young lady." That rang a bell in me. A week later, Christine and I met on a blind date and I was floored. Turns out she did some acting and modeling and also worked for Swiss Air. What a great combination. I fell in love with her and I got to meet the rest of her family. I liked them all on the spot. They ran a very successful lifestyle wine and spirits dealership back in Germany. Christine fell in love with me too, and we moved in together, enjoying long walks on the boardwalk, downtown Toronto, our friends Alex and Benita, and food shopping at the St. Lawrence Food Market. The other lady entering my life was Helga, a top professional real estate expert and first female in North America achieving the prestigious SIOR designation. Our paths had crossed before, but now she had this wonderful idea of joining forces professionally. She had great contacts to builders, developers, and real estate owners, while I would have access to overseas clientele. Together we joined J.J. Barnicke Encore International as their German team. Clients came over, buildings were sold, and staff meetings would take place up in beautiful Muskoka. Joe Barnicke liked his classic 1954 Chris Craft Deluxe. Everything else to him was only Tupperware. His son Andrew, our direct boss, here manning the barbecue. Christine's employer allowed us to travel the world. Always combining pleasure with business, I would also visit our international affiliates on trips we took. Hong Kong, Berlin just after the wall came down, and most importantly Paris, where luck would strike for me again. An international sales meeting took place in no other hotel than where I had worked some 10 years earlier. Rudy was still there, and in fluent French I could arrange for an upgrade for our president. Now that had an effect. Guess who became the new Encore manager, with a marketing budget, travel privileges, and a generous spending account? I was so proud, also of my window office featuring the first Apple laptop on the market. Meanwhile, back in Niagara, a great new business would rent our beer pub as operation headquarters, while my parents would host several Shaw Festival openings at their place. Christine and I attended and would make good business contacts too. Life was great, and the next step in our relationship was developing quickly.